Hi everyone, welcome to the next video. Topic is algorithm. So before discussing about algorithm, last class we discussed about system life cycle, 5 phases of system life cycle. We discussed about requirements, design, analysis, coding and verification. Today we are going to discuss about algorithm. We are all familiar about algorithm because you studied C programming in the last semester. So algorithm is a procedure having well-defined steps for solving a particular problem. You can write another definition like algorithm is a finite set of logic or instructions written in order to accomplish a certain predefined task. It's not a complete program or a code, it is just a solution of a problem which can be represented either as an informal description using a flowchart or a pseudocode. So algorithm is a procedure having a well-defined steps for solving a problem, a particular problem. So problem is what? It may be sorting elements in an ascending order or sorting an element in a descending order. So that is a problem. So we are going to write an outline for how this algorithm works. So that is the meaning of this definition. So procedure having a well-defined steps for solving a particular problem. Algorithm is a finite set of logic or instruction written in order to accomplish the certain predefined task. So in the case of a sorting, we have a number of sorting techniques are there: quick sort, insertion sort, selection sort, bubble sort. So many sorting techniques we have. So each sorting technique have its own logic. So which logic is suitable for our problem is very important. So that is why it is a finite set of logic or instructions written in order to accomplish a certain predefined task. So that is another definition of an algorithm. The third one, it is not a complete program or a code. So algorithm is not a program. We already familiar on that. Algorithm is a set of instructions or an outline for writing a program. So we are writing this algorithm which is common to all the programming languages. This algorithm will give an idea of how this problem works. So how this program works. So we are producing a solution for a problem. So for all the programmers, this algorithm will be a guideline to write the program. So that is why it is not a complete program or a code. It is just a solution of a problem which can be represented either as an informal description using a flowchart or a pseudocode. Okay. Next, we are going to discuss about the categories of algorithm. The first category of algorithm is, we are going to discuss the category of algorithms in data structure. That is very important. Category of algorithms in data structure. That is very, very, very important. We are discussing about algorithm in data structure. So the first one is sorting, then searching, deleting, deletion, insertion and updation. So we already discussed the operations of a data structure. So these are the operations of data structure. So for all those operations we are going to write a algorithm. That is the meaning of this categories of algorithm. Sorting, we all know that we have two types of sorting, either sorting a list of elements in ascending or descending order. We already discussed about the sorting. For example, in your class you are having 42 students and all those 42 students are attending exams. After the exams we are publishing the result. Along with the result we are going to publish a rank for the students. So for publishing the rank we need the name of the students in descending order in the sense based on the marks, total marks scored by each student. So we are going to sort the students based on the marks scored in a descending order. So what we will get the highest scored marks, second highest and the third highest students in the first three roles, so that we can easily identify who are the first three rank holders in your class. So that is the meaning of sorting. So we are going to write a program for that or an algorithm for that. That is sorting. Second one is searching. Very simple. We just want to search the name of a student from your class. For that, what we are going to do is we are going to write an algorithm on how to search. But it is very important. Searching is not applicable for not only applicable for your class. It is a common thing. Searching a particular element from a big data it is very important. So we are going to write a algorithm for searching an element from a data structure. Third one, deleting the existing element from the data structure. Very simple. If a student in your class is going to discontinue or he is transferred to another class, so his name should be removed from that list. Automatically we are going to go for an operation like deletion. So deletion will give deletion is a operation that has to delete the name from the list. The next one is insertion. Consider a new student is a new student is going to join in your class. So for adding his name in the list, we are going to insert we are going for the insertion operation. The last one is updating the existing element inside the data structure, because sometimes while entering the data some mistakes may happen. So if you want to correct it or update it, or for example the address may change frequently, some students may have to change their address because of their address change, we have to go for the operation like update. So these are the operations that we have, 5 operations that we have in data structures, and we are going to write a program or an algorithm for all the 5 operations. Next one is the performance of an algorithm. That is very important. So we can write a 2 or 3 algorithm for a single problem. Among these 2 or 3 or 4 programs, which one is the best one? That is very important. So we have a certain criteria to analyze the best algorithm among all. For performance of an algorithm is measured on the basis of the following properties. The first one is time complexity. Time complexity is the amount of time needed by a program to run to the completion. So time complexity is very important thing. We can take an example of search engines. We have n number of search engines in the market, but Google is the first one, only because of the algorithm that they are using for searching the data required by the user from their database. So time complexity in the sense the amount of time needed by a program to run to the completion. So the way that we are write the code is very important. So it should be less time consuming. The run time should be very less, otherwise it will take time. That is why Google is one of the best search engine among all, because it produces accurate result within a minimum period of time. So that is the meaning of a time complexity. The second one is space complexity. Space complexity is the amount of memory space required by an algorithm during a course of its execution. Space complexity is required in a situation when limited memory is available and for a multi-user system. Very simple. We already familiar that we have 2 types of memory. One is a primary memory and the other one is a secondary memory. In the primary memory, we already aware that primary memory is more faster than the secondary memory, but primary memory storage capacity is very less compared to the secondary memory. So all those operations, all the run execution will happen only in the primary memory. So primary memory is limited. It's too fast than secondary memory, but the size is it is not that much big to store a large amount of data. So in such kind of applications like big data has to be processed. In such cases, space complexity is very important. So the amount of memory space required by an algorithm during a course of its execution, that is important. The execution, at the time of execution, the memory should be the memory used for the execution should be minimum, otherwise the program may fail, and obviously that program will not work. The space complexity is required in situations when limited memory is available and for the multi-user system. So for example, if you're having 20,000 users in your application and you have a limited memory space, then your algorithm should satisfy these two conditions, because maximum number of users are there. So all those users has to log in and work in all the cases with a minimum memory. So that is the space complexity. Then certain mandatory factors are there for each algorithm. Specification should be there. Description of the computational procedure should be there in the algorithm. Specification, how the program works, the description of the computational procedure, how the computing process, adding n numbers. So what's the procedure for adding the n numbers? So for that, a description should be there. The second case is preconditions, that is input or inputs. N number of input may be there, or only one input. For example, sorting, we need to produce n number of elements to sort. So input is a preconditions. Next one is a body of the algorithm, the sequence of clear and unambiguous instructions. That body of the algorithm, in the sense it describes how the program works. So that description should be clear and moving towards a particular direction that leads to the output. So there should not be any diversions or confusions in the description. That is the meaning of unambiguous instructions. The last one is post condition, desired output. The conditions on the output. Output should be like this. That is important. For example, the output should be in descending order or in ascending order. So desired output should be there. So these are the four important things we have to consider before writing an algorithm. Specification, next one is preconditions, then the body of the algorithm, and the post conditions. So based on all these factors, we are going to write an algorithm. A traditional method of writing algorithm we are going to discuss here. Design an algorithm to multiply the two numbers x and y and display the result in z. We already familiar to multiply two numbers. So what we are going to do is we are going to declare the two values x and y, and we are going to store the value in x and y and perform the multiple operation, and the result is going to get stored in the variable z. So likewise, the traditional way of writing an algorithm is like this. Step 1, start. Second one, declare the three integers x, y and z. Step 3, define the values of x and y. Step 4, multiply values of x and y. Step 5, store the output of step 4 in z. Step 6, print z. And step 7, stop. So this is a traditional way of writing an algorithm, because you are already familiar about all these cases, because you already studied the subject in the last semester. But there is another method or an alternative way of writing an algorithm is like this. Step 1, start multiply. Very simple. Start multiply. So from the simple statement, because this algorithm is mainly intended to make the process easy for a developer, a software programmer. So he needs a minimum number of instructions like this. Start multiply. Very simple. Start multiply. Get values of x and y. Z equal to x star y. Display z. Stop. So a programmer needs only this much of instruction for a program, for writing a program. This much of instruction. These are the instructions. Very simple. Start multiply. Get values of x and y. Z equal to x star y. Display z. Stop. So this is the way of writing algorithm in future, because you are a computer science student. You are going to write a data structure program. So algorithm may looks like this in future. In future, in the sense in the next class onwards. Characteristics of an algorithm. These are the characteristics of an algorithm. First one is input, the output, the feasibility, then independent and ambiguous. So these are the characteristics of an algorithm. First one, input. An algorithm must have a zero or a well-defined input. Some of the program is used to discuss a procedure. So sometimes it may not need an input. So an algorithm must have zero or a well-defined inputs. output, an algorithm must have one or well-defined outputs and should match with the desired output. That is very important. ഒരു ഔട്ട്പുട്ട് ആവാം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ മൾട്ടിപ്പിൾ ഔട്ട്പുട്ട് ആവാം, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ബട്ട് എത്ര ഔട്ട്പുട്ട് ആണെങ്കിലും ഇറ്റ് ഷുഡ് മാച്ച് വിത്ത് ദ ഡിസൈഡ് ഔട്ട്പുട്ട്. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് വെരി ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻറ്റ്. Then feasibility. An algorithm must be terminated after finite number of steps. So clear, it should be clear. It should be feasible that all the instructions should be terminated. It should not go on infinitely. It should terminate after a specified number of steps. Then independent. Very simple. Algorithm is common for all the programming languages. You should not depend on any programming languages. So algorithm is a set of instruction or a logic that we are going to give to the programmer, so that the programmer can easily identify, oh, this is a way of writing a program. So the programming language is not a matter. It's independent. That is the meaning of this. Independent in the sense it should not depend on any programming languages. We have a number of programming, not a number. We have so many programming languages like C, C++, Java, ASP, JSP, PHP, Laravel. A number of programming languages are there, but our algorithm should be independent. Next one is unambiguous. An algorithm must be unambiguous and clear. Each of their steps or input or output must be clear and lead to only one meaning. So after this algorithm, there should not be any confusion that whether this instruction goes to the 2 or 3 result. So it should be ambiguous. It should be clear and lead to only one meaning. So these are the characteristics of an algorithm: input, output, feasibility, independent, and unambiguous. Next we are going to discuss about asymptotic analysis. So I already discussed about the performance of an algorithm. Performance of an algorithm should be calculated. We have two measures. One is the time complexity, and the other one is space complexity. Time complexity gives the best less time consuming algorithm among 2 or 3 algorithms. Space complexity is based on this analysis we will get a less space utilized algorithm. So for doing this analysis, like doing this time complexity or finding out the time complexity and space complexity of a algorithm, we should go for a analysis named as asymptotic analysis. Asymptotic analysis of an algorithm is a method of defining the mathematical foundation of a runtime performance. So the runtime performance should be calculated, how much time it required to complete the program, whether it is time consuming or less time consuming, or space consuming or less space consuming. So for doing that we should need some sort of any calculations. For doing that we have asymptotic analysis. Using asymptotic analysis we can easily conclude about the average case, best case, and worst case scenario of an algorithm. So what's average case, best case, and worst case scenario of an algorithm? The time required of an algorithm comes under 3 types. Worst case, it defines the input for which the algorithm takes a huge time. So worst case. So worst case in the sense, if the input for every algorithm there will be 3 cases: worst case, average case, and best case. Based on the input, if it gives a worst case, all the input, if it gives a worst case, then the algorithm has to be reworked. So it defines the input for which the algorithm takes a huge time. Average case, it takes the average time for a program execution. Best case, it defines the input for which the algorithm takes the lowest time. So these are the 3 cases: worst case, average case, and best case, based on the input. So these are the things that we plan to discuss on today's class, and we will discuss about worst case, average case, best case, and asymptotic analysis in the future classes. So we are winding up here, and I will add I'm going to add one quiz program for the last class, this class and last class also. So all of you please attend the quiz, and the quiz will give you a final uh, clarity that how much you understand from the topics. Okay, thank you.